Hi everyone, I'm Tracie Goodman. I'm the Agriculture and Natural Resource Extension Agent for McCreary County Cooperative Extension. I want to talk to you all today about a very important wildlife resource that we have a lot of in our county, and that is snakes. Please don't run, there are no live snakes involved in this presentation. Now, this is the time of year that you are going to see snakes kind of emerging from hiding because it's the end of winter, it's the beginning of spring. This is when they like to come out. McCreary County is home of the Big South Fork National River and Recreation Area and the Daniel Boone National Forest. So we have an ideal habitat which fosters several species of snakes. Now, you may encounter snakes anywhere from hiking trails to your own backyard. Now, most snakes in Kentucky are non-venomous. However, there are two venomous species in McCreary County that I will talk about in just a little bit. So I know the common attitude about snakes is that the only good snake is a dead snake, right? I've heard that a million times. But I am here to tell you that they are not so bad. Now, first, they offer a natural form of pest control. They consume rodents and pests who are also hosts of ticks, so you're killing two birds with one stone there. They are also a really important part of the food chain. They play an integral part in balancing the ecosystem, and they can be both predator and prey, which means that they control pest populations and they also serve as a food source. And like most animal species, typically they are harmless unless they are threatened. Before we start talking about the different species of snakes, I wanted to first talk about how you can tell non-venomous versus venomous snakes. Now, in Kentucky, the black part of the center of the eye pupil of harmless snakes is round. Venomous snakes have an egg-shaped or a cat-like, which is an elliptical pupil. As you can see in the picture, there's a very big difference between the round non-vertical pupil and the vertical pupil. So this is non-venomous, round pupil, venomous, vertical pupil. Venomous snakes also usually have a triangular or spade-shaped head. It is wide at the back, attached to a narrow neck. But be aware that many non-venomous snakes, such as water snakes, will flatten their heads when threatened and may be confused with venomous snakes. Today, I'm going to talk about some of the species of snakes that you will find in McCreary County on land. The first set of species I'm going to talk about are the non-venomous varieties that are the most common. This one is the DK's brown snake. It is a very small snake. The adults typically reach 13 inches long. They are grayish brown with a pale stripe bordered by black spots down their back, and they have a cream-colored belly. These are found under rocks, logs, within leaf litter, or gardens. They are really found anywhere. They eat earthworms, snails, and slugs, and sadly, these are often mistaken for baby copperheads, but you can easily tell the difference between these and baby copperheads if you will compare the pictures. Baby copperheads have a coppery colored head, and these do not. The second one is the common garter snake. These are usually less than 2 feet long, and they are brown to black in color with one central and two lateral cream, yellow, or greenish stripes along their back. And you find these pretty much anywhere. I know most people have probably seen one of these in their yard or their garden. Their habitat is forests, agricultural lands, wetlands, yards, and parks, and their diet mostly consists of frogs, toads, mice, and birds. This one is the eastern black king snake. Now these might reach up to 4 feet long, so they're a slightly larger snake. They are really easy to identify. They are black with yellowish spots and a black and white checkered belly, which is really cool. Now they inhabit forests, agricultural lands, and wetland edges mostly, and these snakes are constrictors. They prey on other snakes, including venomous varieties. This one is the rat snake. It looks kind of similar to the king snake, except you can tell by the pattern along its back, and it has a smooth black colored belly. These are a variety of colors. They are usually black, gray, or brownish black with these faint yellowish brown blotches along their back. And these are the largest snake species in Kentucky. They often exceed 6 feet long. They are also constrictors. They primarily consume rodents, but they will eat eggs and chicks. And they inhabit forest edges, agricultural lands, parks, and backyards. I have seen these a lot in my own yard. This one is probably one of my favorite. It is the North American black racer. They are very shiny with solid black or blue-gray scales. They get to about 3 feet in length, so not a very large snake. And these are most abundant in pastures, in brushy areas, and in aquatic habitats. They consume rodents, lizards, birds, frogs, insects, and other snake species as well. And they get their name because when they are disturbed, they rapidly flee away. They look like a ribbon going through the weeds. It's pretty cool to watch. This is the eastern hognose snake. They have an upturned snout scale, which gives them their name, and they vary from a lot of different colors. They could be black, gray, yellow, dark green, or red, and they often have really large spots down their back. These get to about 3 feet in length, and they are found mostly in fields, in forests, in wetlands, and they have an affinity for sandy areas. They prey primarily on amphibians, and when they are disturbed, they are drama queens. They puff out their throat and hiss. They can regurgitate their meal. They musk and defecate, or they can even pretend to be dead. Now, this one on the top is one that I actually saw on my road. I saw another one in my driveway that I didn't get a picture of, but that one puffed up and hissed whenever I got near it. So I knew that's what it was just because I knew these varieties of snakes, but they are often harmless unless you disturb them. Moving on to the venomous snakes that you might find in McCreary County. Now, the most common venomous snake that probably everyone has seen at some point is the copperhead. Now, these are relatively small. They total about 2 feet or less in length. They get their name because they have a coppery colored head and copper red to brown color all over with hourglass shaped chestnut colored bands across the back. They inhabit rocky, wooded hillsides and areas near streams or abandoned wood piles. And they eat small mammals, frogs, lizards, birds, and insects. Now, their primary defense is camouflage. As you can see in the bottom picture, they really blend in well with their surroundings because of their pattern. So really, really be careful when you're out and about. Watch where you step and just keep an eye out for these guys. They are normally non-aggressive though, so if you were to come across one, just make a wide arc around them and avoid them, and they will likely not bother you at all. When they are provoked, however, they do vibrate their tail and they sometimes strike, which injects venom. It is typically non-life-threatening, but be very, very careful when you come near one of these snakes. The other venomous snake that you'll find maybe in McCreary County is the timber rattlesnake. These are the largest venomous snake in Kentucky. They may reach up to 5 feet in length. They are gray, yellow, brown, or green with dark crossbands or chevrons along their back, and some of them are even completely black. They inhabit heavily forested areas, rocky outcrops, ridgelines, and bluffs, and they prefer eating small mammals. They are very, very secretive and non-aggressive, and most of the time they will only rattle their tail when harassed. Now, the picture on the top is one that I actually saw in my driveway, and that is the behavior that it exhibited when I came upon it, which I didn't get very close to it, obviously, but it kind of stopped. It was making its way across my driveway and just rattled its tail. I left it alone and it went on through the woods and I never saw it again. So really, if you leave them alone, they are not going to bother you. However, if you happen to be bitten by one of these, their bites are very, very serious and you need to seek medical treatment immediately. So most people, despite the variety of snake, probably do not want these inhabiting their home or their property. So these are ways that you can be safe, cautious, and deter them from your property. Number one, Check for any openings or cracks in your home or building and seal them up. Now, this picture is a rat snake that was trying to enter my basement through the hole where the gas line was. So once it crawled out, I let it be, let it crawl off down the hill. I stuffed pool noodle in the hole to fill it up so it wouldn't come back, which worked temporarily because that's all that I had. But eventually we did seal it up more permanently and we never saw it come back there. So anyway, just make sure there's not one of these living in your basement or that it can get somewhere inside your home because you don't want a snake in your house. Next, contact a wildlife professional for safe removal, or you can contact me or any of the extension agents at your local extension office, and we will hook you up with someone who can help you remove these safely from your property or your home. Also, clear debris and wood from your yard. A lot of snakes like to hide out in wood piles, copperheads being one of them. Remember, this is a poisonous snake. You don't want it on your property. So just keep your yard clear of debris and be very, very careful when you're getting wood from your wood pile. Most importantly, just give them space. Don't harass them. They are not in your yard to bother you or cause any trouble. Usually they're just there because they're sunbathing or they're looking for their next meal, and they are going to move on if you just let them be. Also, wear closed-toed shoes and pants when you're hiking. This is very, very important. Also, walk around logs instead of over them. Oftentimes, snakes like to hide out under logs so that they can catch rodents or insects, whatever they might be waiting for. One of the most important things that you can do is to teach yourself and your children about snake ID. This will allow you to know what to do and what not to do and what their behaviors are, and also what type of snakes that you should be looking for as far as venomous versus non-venomous varieties. This is the resource that I used for this presentation. It is from UK College of Agriculture, Food and Environment, Department of Forestry, and it is their snake identification website. When you access this website, you can look up different species of snakes in Kentucky, and you can also report your own sightings here. This helps with future research, and it also allows you to participate and become a citizen scientist. Lastly, don't try this at home. This is me in my senior thesis project in college, and I did have to handle snakes as part of my research project to identify them. But unless you are a professional or a student who was solicited into doing a project, please do not handle snakes on your own. Please don't pick them up, don't touch them, don't bother them. Just leave them be and they will not bother you. If you have any questions about anything in this presentation, please feel free to contact me and I will help you in any way that I can. Thank you for watching.